Hello everyone, this is Divya. Today I am going to analyze and demonstrate the postural assessment. First, let's start with an anterior view in a postural assessment. Here I have a model standing in anterior view. Let's start with his toes to neck. The toes are usually supinated or pronated. According to my model's toes are little bit everted outward, and that was quite normal because of his standing position. If we go for the knees, we need to look whether the knees are inverted or everted, and that's also important thing is that we need to look the knees or locked knees or bone knees. And if you go for the hip, we need to check whether the hip crest is internal rotated or external, and even though we need to check the symmetry as well. If you go for the arms, the model's arms are like adducted, and if you go for the shoulder, both shoulders we need to check whether they are equal in height and whether they are protracted or retracted as well. If you go for the neck, we need to analyze the neck position and rotation as well in the anterior view. Let's have a look at lateral view. Here we need to notice whether the foot is having a supination or pronation or internal rotation or external rotation. My model having an external rotated foot, and if you go for the knees, we need to check whether the knees are out or in, but in lateral view we can't find out the knee deformity. And if you go for the pelvic tilt, we need to know whether the pelvic is anteriorly tilted or posteriorly, but my model having a normal pelvic. And for the spine, we need to check whether spine having any deformities like kyphosis or lordosis as well. My model having a flat back. And if you go for the shoulder, we need to check whether the shoulder is anteriorly protruded or posteriorly retracted as well. And if you go for the neck, we need to check whether the neck is normal and unrotated as well. Let's have a look at posterior view. In the posterior view, we need to look whether the calcaneum is aligned in the same position or not, and we need to know whether it is inverted or everted. And if you see the calcaneum for the model, it is slightly inverted, and if you see the foot, it is a flat foot. And let's go for the knees. If you see the knees, they are hyperextended due to his standing position. And if you go for the hip, they are slightly inverted, and if you go for the arms, they are adducted. And the shoulders, the scapula is slightly protracted, and the shoulder of his right side is elevated upwards. And if you go for the spine is quite normal, there is no deformities visually shown in the video, and the neck is quite normal.